I mean, I understand some of your approach. I mean, sometimes we take a hard bite. It helps us as politicians.
Nowadays, when I listen to you, I even panic.
Why?
Maybe, hey,
Why do you panic?
the way you, Papa, you know Papa.
Figuratively, he bites as hard as he can.
Okay.
And of course, when he puts his fangs into you, you certainly feel it. I think it pretty.
Watch Johnny's bite.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. And thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runneth over, and surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. It's Thursday. Welcome to Johnny's Bite. Gradually, November is coming to an end, and then very soon we will enter December, where the people of the Republic of Ghana will have to take a bold decision to elect a president and also some 276 parliamentarians to represent the good of Ghanaians in the House of Parliament. We will have a conversation about that. But yesterday was a swell time at Asha Town, and we had people from Jamestown as well joining us. We had Sunrise in your community, and it was sponsored by the US aid from the American people. I want you to enjoy. Yesterday, for the first time, I introduced my team to Akolo, and they loved it. Listen.
92.7 Sunrise on 3FM.
And yesterday, for the first time, 6-2's learned what Shiame, because at some point they had to leave the food for them. So we were immersed in the community, and we spoke about safe fishing practices and monofilaments and why we should not be using that. And yesterday they had a lot of issues to raise, particularly about premixed fuel. The fact that they were not getting the premixed fuel, and now they have to use regular fuel, add oil to it, which was making the fishing business too expensive, and that's why you are not able to afford the fish. The women also spoke about the fact that cooking oil, 1 gallon, or what is usually known as the Kufor gallon, is now 1,000 Ghana cedis, and they bemoaned the price, and they said, look, something has to be done about it because this is all they do. They also had cause to talk about light fishing and those who use chemicals to fish, and the fact that those who were not using the chemicals to fish or the light to fish were being disadvantaged. So these are the main issues. Also, the conversation about sanitation on the beach came up strongly, and then you also find the fact that some children were engaged in fishing, which we spoke about. So I want to say big thank you to all the fisher folks, the chief fisherman, Atama, and everybody who made the program a success yesterday. I'm sure that we can find another beach and have another conversation with our fisher folks. So kudos to all our fisher folks and our mothers who came and joined us, and to the auntie who cooked the aklo for us right there. We appreciate it. You could see Kunzo Tiani and Lois and 6-2's and Helen and everybody enjoying aklo. It was so nice eating with the town folks, and that's all radio is about. We connect with the people when we have to connect with the people. It's a good point to connect any day, anytime, anywhere. Thank you to the US aid. We are grateful. Now, I told you earlier about the decision that you will go and queue to make on the 7th of December. 2024. And it should not be a conversation about politicians are the same and so you will not go and vote. It should not be a decision about your party. So you're going to take a decision that will inure to the benefit of your party against the total will and total good of the Republic of Ghana. It should not be. I want to play a video from Uganda for you. The Lord Mayor of Entebbe, he's been speaking some sense, and I think we should listen to it together. Let's hear him.
Leadership is service. Unfortunately for most of us, leadership is a job. Political offices are viewed as jobs. So we have job seekers running for offices so that they can get paid, so that they can make money. This has become a source of wealth. So you look at people as votes and not necessarily as people. A leader is supposed to make the lives of his people better. A leader is supposed to effect change. A leader is supposed to simplify the life of the people that he leads. Unfortunately, many of the people that lead are rulers. They come in as job seekers, masquerading to be leaders. So when they get into these offices, they do exactly what they are supposed to do because they came looking for a job and they have to leave to make the wealth that they came to look for. What is Africa? It is a bunch of imaginary lines that were created by some people seated in Berlin and decided that we are now a continent of different people. You find that brothers seated at different angles or different sides of a border who look at each other as strangers. Africa's biggest issue is the thought that we are so different from each other. The people of Uganda, the people of Kenya, Tanzania, Nigeria, Ghana, we are the same. We have been divided by people who don't live here. But my country turned 62 yesterday, but we're still blaming the colonial master instead of taking responsibility as a people. Our issues with the politics, the politicians want to keep people divided. Why? Because we get votes. We ride on the misery of our people, all in the name of keeping ourselves in that selfishness called leadership. Take a step back. My brother says we need leaders. No, we don't need those leaders. The leaders needed are you and I. We are the leaders. We are supposed to step up and say, for our people, what can we do better? Why does a Nigerian need a visa to come to Uganda? Why does a Nigerian need a visa to go to Ghana? What is needed is fast. Like I said, let's have an honest conversation. If I ask half the people in this room, what is the currency of Uganda? You would be shocked they don't know. For me to come to Nigeria, I have to change my Ugandan shilling into a dollar. And then when I get to Nigeria, I change that very dollar into a naira. And when I'm leaving, I turn it back into a dollar and then into a shilling. You lose about 60% of that money in exchanges. You are giving money to a person seated in the US who does not need to even come on a plane to come to Nigeria to say thank you. We are telling each other lies to say we can have Africa's free economy, free trade zones and all that. Yet we can't even have our currencies relate to each other. I can't change a shilling in Nigeria. You can't change a naira in Uganda. So the leadership needs to be honest. These conferences we go to, declarations, pass very good and rosy things, sign agreements. Where is the implementation? The leaders here, I challenge you. I drum to you. Wake up and say, let Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Nigeria work together. That is the only way we can start by saying this platform here is a challenge to you, that the people who organize this are not political leaders, but they are saying for the King of Toro and the Olu of Wari sitting together and saying, how do our people work together? I honestly, in all honesty, for the politicians here, you'll excuse me, I think the politicians, we are the biggest problem for Africa. We are so hell-bent on keeping power instead of looking at the good of our people. Africa's solutions will only come from Africans.
So he spoke a lot of sense, and I'm sure that we have understood it because it's so plain English. You have an opportunity when you pick your voter ID card, you will go to the polling station. And I'm sure that you're going to, after listening to the Lord Mayor of Entebbe of Uganda, you're going to take a decision that will inure to your benefit. And I told you the other time that if you have a leader who doesn't look out for you, what does your member of parliament, what has he done? For the past 4 years, for the past 8 years, what has your member of parliament said in parliament that works in your interest? People are sponsoring private members' bill. What has your MP done? People are lobbying for developments to happen to them in their constituencies. What has your member of parliament done? And are you going to elect somebody who becomes a problem for you, or are you going to elect somebody who becomes the solution for you? That should be the driving force that will take you to the constituency to say, I want to queue and vote. That is the only thing. The economic conversation, it must be had. The conversations about rallying, people to come into your various constituencies to come and give you developmental projects, that conversation must be had. If you live in a constituency and your member of parliament has not been able to lobby anything, to even lobby the DCE or MCE, to be able to build a social amenity or anything for you over the last 4 to 8 years, that person doesn't deserve to be a member of parliament. Because that person is just there looking for a job, trying to tick some boxes to suggest that, oh, I have also become an MP before. He's interested in the car loans. He's interested in the V8. He's interested in the title honorable. Finish. We must begin to put the leadership that we elect, we queue to choose and select or elect. We must begin to let them do the work that we, the citizens, want. And that cannot happen in a vacuum. You have to be part of the process. And in being part of the process, you have to be asking the very same questions. There are some of the members of parliament, or even people at the presidency, etc., who get angry when you ask questions. A friend of mine, a diehard MPP person, told me that Agenda 111, well, we'll have about 30 to 35 of them by the close of October. Today is the 21st of November. How many of the Agenda 111 projects have been completed, for example? And in your district, if there's a member of parliament there, how is he working to ensure that the quality of health care that you deserve is coming to you? This dawn on my way here, there's a taxi driver who had highlights on, hitting the horns and driving. There was somebody there, they're taking the person to the Kaneshi Polyclinic in a taxi, because I'm sure if they call the ambulance service will ask them to pay money for fuel. We cannot continue in this direction. The leadership that you queue to elect must work to the best of your interests. If your interest is not central to your member of parliament, change him or her. If your member of parliament cannot show proof that he's working in your interest, change your member of parliament. And you cannot have a situation where somebody has become your MP for 8 years, and within the 8 years, the person has not organized a single town hall meeting to have a jaw session with you. That person is a bad MP. You cannot have a situation where your member of parliament doesn't talk to you. He's not connected to you. He only comes into the constituency, he's riding in the V8, all rolled up, and he doesn't care. He doesn't connect with you. That is a bad MP. You have to change that person. You cannot have a situation where your member of parliament comes to you only once in a year. That's a bad MP. He is your member of parliament. There's a reason they are giving those car loans and they are giving those robust 4x4 vehicles. There's a reason they will be given ex gratia at the end of their service. There's a reason they get certain privileges. so that they can get peace of mind to work for you. So if your member of parliament is not working for you, change that person. It doesn't matter whether they are NDC or MPP or whatever it is. Change the MP. There are some of the MPs who are so comfortable and they say, oh, this is a stronghold. Whether you put a goat, taflache, in a party shirt, they would vote for the person. So some of them are too comfortable and they have become too arrogant and complacent. Change that MP. In the coming year, 2025 and beyond, you should see your member of parliament working in your interest. Your member of parliament should be so humble enough to have conversations with you. Now the campaigns are on. They are either pounding fufu or braiding hair or washing somebody's boxer shorts or going to the market to go and carry bags of maize, whatever it is, pulling a truck, whatever it is. Ask yourself, in the past 4 years or in the past 8 years, what has been the relationship between you and your member of parliament? Ask yourself. So you are just there, the antiques are thrown at you, and then at the end, the president of the republic, Nana Addo, he ate kenke with people. He rode in the Willowbrook, the Circle Kaneshi vehicle, right? He drank Calipo. Today, what is the relationship of the president with us? No, it's a basic question. When politicians want power, they do everything. You heard the man, he says, the politicians, some of them, they come to you not because they want to serve you. They come to you because of what they need. They need a job. They need a job. Must it be so? Don't we all need jobs? So if I take on a job in the private sector or in the public sector, and I have KPI and I deliver, why should my member of parliament also take up the job and not have a KPI or not play by the KPI? Why? The key performance indicators and the job description that they have, why don't they play by it? Why does your member of parliament not go to parliament? Why is he not pushing for legislations to be done? Why is he or she just interested in saying, yeah, no? I'm asking you. You've been voting for that individual. What can you say has been the benefit to your constituency from that individual? I'm asking you. And same applies to those who are looking for the presidency. Ask yourself the question, how well have they served our best interest? You must ask the question. The questions must be put out there. Yesterday when we went to Asha Town, the women were talking, and they were talking passionately. Very passionately. The conversation that the women had, very passionate conversation. And they were talking about the reality on the ground. How their capitals have dwindled. How they cannot afford to buy cooking oil to fry fish. How they have seen other people lose their jobs because we're constructing a harbor. And they were moved from there towards the Kole Lagoon. And up until now, the harbor has been done. There's a statue there, Amagamanyeng, but they have not been brought back. Yesterday, they said all of it. It was live on radio, on 3FM 92.7. So we have not finished the thing, but we go and then we commission the project. They were asking the questions. And somebody asked Helen a question in guys, says, look, when you finish constructing a house, do you live in it? Because the house is completed, but who is there? Who is occupying it? And they were asking questions that this is where we ply our trade. Now that it's been modernized, what is the alternative for us? Nobody says the harbor is a bad initiative. It's a very good initiative. But how do we plug in these women and these men who have done this artisanal fishing for so long? How do we plug them in? How do we plug them in? Yesterday, they were talking about the close season and the fact that, look, around the period when we do the close season, you actually have the fishes, that's when you get the bumper harvest. So when you close the sea at that time, they want to understand the science behind it. They were asking the questions that for 6 months, the sea drifts towards the east, and for the another 4 months, it drifts towards the west. This is science that you will not learn in any classroom. So this morning, my message to you very simple. If your member of parliament or your leader is not working in your best interest, change that person. And you know the other set of people who literally heap all the pressure on the members of parliament is the DCs and the MCs, because they are never accountable to the people. We were promised that by 2018, we were going to vote for our own MMDCs. It became political football later when we tried to juggle Article 2431 and then 55.3, which is an entrenched clause. They said, oh, we have to do a referendum. But that was not the promise. The promise was that you are going to get a chance to vote for your own MMDC. Some of the DCs, they are never present. They never connect with the people. They are not available. They are never present. They don't connect with the people. They are never available to the people. Now, if you represent the president of the republic in your district or your municipality, why should you not be available to the people? Why should you only be visible towards, an electioneering period? Why? Let me leave it here. Please call me 055-924-2717 and 055-691-0154. 055-924-2717 and 055-691-0154. See you shortly after this break.
Mommy, I can't believe I swallowed the lies the MPP told us about John Mahama.